Welcome. Today we're tackling something really quite specific and honestly a bit paradoxical. We're looking at how truth, something fundamentally good,
Right.
right, can actually become corrupted. Not the truth itself, but how it's handled when, well, when pride gets involved.
Right. It's this concept of the pride of being right. And to be clear, this isn't saying truth doesn't matter or that facts are flexible. Not at all.
No, no, definitely not.
It's about when knowing things, having the right answers, maybe even having flawless theology, stops being about, helping or connecting and starts being about making yourself feel important, exalted even.
That shift is subtle but huge.
It is, because fundamentally this isn't about compromising truth. It's recognizing that pride, it loves certainty, it feeds on it. So when pride is the driving force, that genuine desire for accuracy, it just sort of morphs into a desire to win.
To win the argument.
Exactly, to win the argument, to be seen as the one who knows, and that completely changes how knowledge gets used.
Okay, let's really dig into that danger then. The core idea seems to be that pride makes us value being right, that feeling, more than actually doing right or loving people or even serving God. It kind of flips the purpose of knowledge on its head.
Precisely. It prioritizes the intellectual win over genuine righteousness. And think about the consequences when truth doesn't have humility behind it. There's that description, a sword with no handle.
Oof, yeah.
It cuts, right? It can wound others, shut them down, make you feel powerful for a second. But there's no grip for guidance, no way to offer healing. It wounds the person speaking it to, in a way.
That leads straight to another pretty sobering point. You can have, like, perfect doctrine, flawless arguments, theology that's completely airtight. But if there's no love behind it,
You're nothing. That's the biblical concept, isn't it? From 1 Corinthians 13. All the knowledge, all the insight, without love, it cancels out.
so your spiritual value isn't measured by just being factually correct.
Not at all. You can be totally right, biblically speaking, in your head, and completely spiritually wrong in your heart. Because a proud heart uses truth for self, for defense, for status, for keeping others out.
That feels very counterintuitive, but also deeply true.
It's using a divine tool for a purely selfish goal.
And this isn't just a modern thing, is it? There's a historical pattern here. The Pharisees, for example.
Oh, absolutely. They were the experts. They weren't casual about it. They searched the scriptures diligently. John 5.39 talks about that.
They knew the text inside and out.
They did. But they ended up loving the law, the rules, the system more than they loved the actual Lord the law pointed to.
So their truth became
What?
a weapon.
Both. It was their badge. See how devout and knowledgeable I am. And it was their bludgeon used to judge and enforce and, frankly, oppress.
They had the map, but missed the person standing right there.
Exactly. They focused so much on the precepts, they missed the person behind them. Knowledge without love.
Okay, so how does that historical example, that kind of theological pride, show up today, especially when we're online or in debates?
Well, it's everywhere knowledge is used to exclude rather than include. Think about it. Quoting verses not to enlighten, but just to shut someone down. Or maybe to win points in an argument.
Yeah, you see that a lot.
Or using complex doctrine like a password, to see who's in the group and who's out.
Gatekeeping with theology.
Gatekeeping, yes. Or correcting someone publicly, not with compassion, but with this air of smugness, that online gotcha moment.
Right. The tone gives it away.
It really does, and it highlights that paradox. Knowledge puffs up, makes us feel big, but only love actually builds up others. Which means, interestingly, the more you know, the more responsibility you have to be gentle, because the temptation to pride gets stronger.
That's a really important point. The more you know, the gentler you need to be. But let me push back slightly here. Is there a risk? If we're always focused on being gentle and tender, do we risk diluting hard truths? Sometimes truth needs to be sharp, doesn't it? To confront real error.
That's a fair question. And yes, truth can be sharp, but the motive matters. Prophetic confrontation comes from grief, from a love for the person and for the truth itself. It points away from the speaker.
Okay.
Arrogance, the pride we're talking about, that comes from needing to be right, needing to win. It points right back at the speaker. Look how smart I am.
So it's about the source of the sharpness.
Exactly. Think about Jesus. He spoke with absolute authority. He confronted hypocrisy fiercely. But was it ever about his own ego?
No. It seems like it was always driven by compassion or a desire for righteousness.
Right. Even his sharpest words were embedded in a ministry of service. He wasn't securing his status. He was serving the truth and serving the people, even the ones he confronted.
That distinction, serving truth versus serving your own status, feels critical. And the outcome of prideful truth-telling. It's usually negative, isn't it? You win the argument, maybe.
But you often lose the person, that cold, superior attitude. It just pushes people away from connection, away from dialogue, maybe even away from God.
It's like a mission failure wrapped in intellectual correctness.
Perfectly put.
So if pride is the distortion, we need the true picture. And that brings us back to Jesus. He is truth, literally.
Embodied truth, yes.
Yet his entire life seems to model the opposite of this pride. Absolute humility.
It's stunning when you look at it. He had perfect knowledge. He was never wrong, never mistaken.
Never.
Yet you never see him acting boastful, never using his correctness just to dominate someone. He had all authority, but how did he use it?
Washing feet.
The lowest task, weeping over Jerusalem.
Vulnerability.
Healing on the Sabbath, defying the prideful rule keepers, eating with sinners, defying the exclusivity.
Using power for compassion, not status.
Always. And ultimately, going quietly to the cross. The ultimate act of service, not self-exaltation. He showed that truth and power find their highest purpose in humility and grace.
If we want to reflect him, that's the standard. We have to be both truthful and tender. They can't be separated.
Exactly. One without the other becomes warped. Truth without tenderness is harsh. Tenderness without truth is, well, it's unhelpful sentimentality.
Which leads to the practical side for us, for anyone listening. How do we actually do this?
The instruction is pretty direct, actually. Thinking of 2 Timothy. A servant of the Lord shouldn't be quarrelsome.
Avoid the fight.
Avoid picking fights, yeah. Instead, be kind to everyone. Be able to teach. Be patient, even when wronged. And here's the key part. When you correct opponents, do it with gentleness.
Gentleness isn't optional for teaching then. It's required.
It's the delivery mechanism that allows truth to be received. Without it, you just trigger defenses. Arrogance makes people shut down. Gentleness invites them in.
So it boils down to that choice again. Is my knowledge being used to point beyond myself to Christ to help someone else?
Or is it being used to build my little kingdom, make me look good, make someone else feel small?
That's the litmus test.
It is. One builds up, the other is just pride. And we need humble truth bearers, not just prideful fact checkers. Only truth wrapped in humility really leads people home.
It's really striking how pride can take the best things, like knowing the truth, and just twist them into tools for division.
While humility sees that knowledge isn't a possession to be hoarded, but a gift meant for connection, for service, for righteousness.
Okay, so maybe a final thought for everyone listening to chew on.
Yeah, here's something practical to ask yourself. Maybe the next time you have that urge, that little jolt of, I know I'm right about something.
Yeah.
Before you speak, just pause. Ask, what am I really trying to protect here? Is it the truth itself? Or is it my status as the one who's right? That question, honestly answered, might tell you whether your next words will build bridges or just dig ditches.
Wow. Protect the truth or protect my status. That really cuts to the heart of it. It's definitely something to take away and apply. Thank you for walking through this with us, a challenge for all of us this week. Aim low, choose service, and see how it changes our conversations.